Today on the spot, we check in with the new releases hitting store shelves and get updates on the latest wares coming to the Wii Shop Channel. Marco Martinez spotlights some IGF games this week on PC, and Aram Jabari stops in for a demo of Divinity II: The Dragon Knight Saga. Finally, Curtis Said brings you another tips and hints for Little Big Planet 2. Today on the spot.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Today on the Spot. It's February 1st, 2011. I'm your host, Sophia Tong, joined by my co-host, Chris Waters.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Chris.
Happy February.
I know, it's another month and lots of games coming out, well, later, not this week.
That's true. Some big titles coming out later this week. A little bit of a slow start to February.
Kind of mellow, but we had the Marvel vs. Capcom tournament at the office last week.
I know, it was exciting.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, it's on our site. We have round 1 up already, and round 2 will be airing later this week. And Chris, do you want to talk about this poster here?
This is our trivia giveaway, just in case you have a large wall somewhere that needs some Ms. awesomeness, or perhaps some this other lady.
Autographed.
Eve.
See his abs?
Possibly.
Autographed abs.
Yep, autographed by not only these two pro wrestlers, but also Howard Finkel, WWE Hall of Famer.
Oh, very exciting.
Exciting.
So if you're a WWE fan, be sure to stay tuned to the end of the show. But before we get into the show, let's check in with the GameSpot news desk.
Hey everybody, it's your GameSpot news update for Tuesday, February 1st. I'm Tor Thorson. If you're a Legend of Zelda fan, I hope you have a well-developed sense of patience. As part of its most recent earnings report, Nintendo touched upon the release timing for The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword, the second all-new Zelda game for the Wii after 2006's Twilight Princess. According to Nintendo President Satoru Iwata, the game is now entering into the final completion stage. However, don't expect the game anytime soon. Though originally targeted for an early 2011 launch, Skyward Sword is now, according to Iwata, not coming out until after the Ocarina of Time remake for the 3DS. That game, according to Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé, won't be out until after E3, which runs from June 7th to the 9th. I'm betting on a holiday release, people. Any takers? In other Nintendo news, the game giant reported sales milestones for its biggest titles of the last 9 months of 2010. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is Nintendo's top newcomer on the Wii, having sold 6.15 million units worldwide since its late May release. Perhaps more impressive is the performance of 2D platformer Donkey Kong Country Returns, which has sold 4.21 million units since its November 21st release in the US. Kirby's Epic Yarn, which arrived in the US on October 17th, sold 1.38 million units. However, the Wii's top seller between April and December was perennial hit and system pack-in Wii Sports, which sold 12.19 million units worldwide. Wii Motion Plus pack-in Wii Sports Resort fell with sales of 10.21 million, while New Super Mario Bros. Wii shifted 6.58 million units. Well, that's it, your GameSpot news update for Tuesday, February 1st. For more headlines, head on over to news.gamespot.com.
All right, so a lot of people are looking forward to the bigger games coming out later this month: Killzone, Bulletstorm. This week, we have something called 101 Dolphin Pets.
101?
Yeah.
That is an absurd amount of dolphins.
How? Dolphin Pets.
I think that qualifies as a pod.
And I heard there's other, sea life themed games too, like Kevin Van Damme Fishing. I'm kind of curious about that one.
Kevin Van Damme, like Jean-Claude Van Damme's American cousin, who's really into fishing.
It's possible. Who
Yeah,
knows?
he gets him onto the boat and then axe kick.
That'd be interesting, actually.
So these titles and others await you in this week's new releases.
This week in new releases, last week Isaac Clarke and his plasma cutter frightened retail with the release of Dead Space 2. This week's focus, however, is on post-apocalyptic settings and first-person shooter map packs. Leading the week is Masthead Studios' massively multiplayer online role-playing game Earthrise. The MMO is set in a post-apocalyptic landscape shortly after World War III. A tyrannical surviving government has assumed control of the remainder of humanity and is pumping out human clones in an effort to create the perfect society. Players can choose to align themselves as an agent of the totalitarian regime or join the resistance movement known as the Noir. Also out this week is the first map pack for Call of Duty Black Ops. The $15 First Strike add-on content lands exclusively on Xbox Live on February 1st. The content sports 5 new environments ranging from the war-torn Germany to an American hockey rink. The content also bundles a new environment for the fan-favorite zombie game mode called Ascension. None of the maps are remakes of legacy environments, as was the case with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's controversial Stimulus Package DLC. Gamers with an ear for country music and a proclivity for the Rock Band franchise this week can pick up the Rock Band Country Pack 2 for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii. The $30 title includes 21 songs from artists like Darius Rucker, Lady Antebellum, Johnny Cash, Sugarland, and Keith Urban. The track pack is compatible with the original Rock Band 2, and Rock Band 3. The Xbox 360 and PlayStation iterations of the track pack allows gamers to export the tunes to their existing Rock Band libraries. For further details on the week's games, visit GameSpot's new releases page. Release dates are based on retailer listings and are subject to change.
Game Demo!
Hey everyone, and welcome to our daily demo. I'm joined by Aram from Atlas, here to show us Divinity II, the Dragon Knight Saga. Well,
right.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Now tell us more about this game.
Well, it's an action RPG. It is coming to 360 in April, and it's a game that's out on PC just recently. It is the definitive version of the Divinity II games, and there's original game Ego de Cronus that came out about a year ago, and there's an expansion, Flames of Vengeance, that came out later. And this is, the Dragon Knight Saga takes those two, puts them together, it redoes the interface, the graphics engine, it's incredibly much more polished, fan feedback has been taken into consideration, so it's really the ultimate package, and it's dozens, if not over 100 hours of gameplay for the hardcore action RPG fan.
Okay, so it looks like you have the game loaded up here, so let's jump in and take a look.
Sure. Well, here we are maybe 20 or 30 hours into the game, and I'm going to become a dragon. It's an ability you get later on in the game. So you start out as a dragon slayer, and you eventually get the power of a dragon knight from the last Dragon Knight. Here you can see that there are very dragon-specific enemies that we have to go up against, towers that we have to fight. These force fields, if we go through them, we'll immediately die. And up here, there's actually a tower that's our next destination. And here you get a little cutscene that gives us an idea of where we need to go next. So in the world of Rivellon, there is an evil force, Damien, who has plagued the land. And it's a world that's constantly been at war. And you, as a dragon slayer, were of the mindset that the Dragon Knights were really the cause of all this. But what you find out as time goes on, and I'm going to quickly show you how you can actually map things to your D-pad or to your, and I missed my target, to your D-pad or your buttons at any point. It's actually an incredibly deep RPG in terms of the interface, the controls. So we'll step onto this portal and we'll go inside that force field that we couldn't penetrate. And actually you can see the force field now here that we're inside of. This is the only way we could have gotten here. So it's an action RPG that takes place over 100 hours.
Wow, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, and one of the beautiful aspects of the game for RPG fans is your ability to customize your character however which way you see fit. So I'm trying to say sentences that make sense as I play. All the dialogue is fully voiced. Cutscenes and dialogue are presented kind of in that cinematic camera. And I should be overpowered for these guys, so
this should be pretty easy.
This should be pretty easy. I'm going to try to make quick work of them.
So how did the transition from PC to 360 go?
Well, the original release of the game a year ago on 360 was a slightly rougher version of the PC game, and Dragon Knight Saga really introduces a completely overhauled interface that is much better suited for the console controller, for the ABXY buttons. Here you can see I dispatched these kind of mini bosses and we'll quickly progress. One of the other aspects is a completely redone graphics engine. So the original 360 version had some performance issues, and a lot of the fan feedback kind of circled around that, and that's one of the big things that have been addressed in this version. So these are Damien's henchmen, and again, Damien is the nefarious force in the land of Rivellon, and I'm going to decide to let these guys live. So one of the very unique abilities in the game in terms of interactions with NPC is the ability to read minds. So I'm going to read this guy's mind. It cost me 960 experience.
It's expensive.
And he says as soon as it turns its back on me, I'll slit his throat. So he's planning to kill me. And you can actually use things that you read when you read their mind back against them. So he's going to say it's just a joke, and he's going to lower his prices. He's actually a merchant that we can buy items from.
That's interesting.
We'll try this other guy here. We'll read his mind. And he says as long as the dragon doesn't find the girl, we can still have her later. So who's this girl? And he immediately tells us that there's a girl they have under one level down in a cage, and they threw the key out the window. So if we want, we could go out the window and solve that quest. Traditional interface in terms of being able to purchase items here. You've got your weapons, your armor, your magical items, your healing items. And we have a character here that's leveled up, so I can quickly kind of show you what it's like to level up. You've got your vitality, your spirit. These affect things like your health, your strength, your mana.
Yeah, the usual stats for RPGs.
Quickly, we'll show you skills. So I mentioned how you can create a character that can go in any direction. You could become a warrior, a mage, a priest, and you can become a multi-class across any of these categories. Some of these are passive skills, some of these are combat skills, and some of these are projectile abilities, a lot of the magic ones. Some of them are summoning abilities as well.
Very cool. So what are some of the features that kind of makes Divinity 2 stand out?
Well, as you progress your character, and obviously as you progress through the game world, you have the ability to create a battle tower. In addition to all of the other trappings of an RPG, your alchemy, your crafting, your enchanting, you can come to this place eventually, maybe 20, 30 hours in, and these
Build your own tower?
It's your own tower. You actually take it from another character, and you have to make, one of the cool things in Divinity 2 are the profound choices you have to make. Some of are good and evil, and some are actually shades of gray, and you can end up making these decisions that have permanent ramifications on the game world, but aren't necessarily something you'll feel good about or feel bad about. So I just sent that guy off. You'll see this is my tower here, so he is a runner. And I have 3 of these runners, and they will go out in the game world and actually find components for me to either create potions, create enchantments, and here's my throne room. You'll wonder, well, why is there this battle tower for you to make? There is a chest in the game where you can store all your items. Now, here's something that's really cool. You can go into your inventory and you can take any item and send it to your battle tower. You don't have to go all the way here.
Oh, it's like a bank.
It's like a bank, but it's a game that's full of those conveniences. It shows it was obviously developed by RPG fans. So, for example, we can go to the skill training arena, and our battle tower is basically our hub in the game world.
Yeah.
It's like, the Normandy in Mass Effect. It's where all of your support NPCs will be. And here we have a character, for example, we can talk to Hermosa, and she is the only way through which we can train new abilities. We can unlearn all of our abilities if we want. So let's say we don't like the character we've made, we've played the game a bit, we want to redo it. We don't have to restart. We can just come to Hermosa and we can unlearn all of our skills. She can also boost our runners' armor, so they can be more successful when they run out to get different components to make items and enchantments and things like that.
Sounds really deep and a lot of stuff to get into.
Over 100 hours of action RPG goodness.
That is insane. Okay, so when is the game coming out and on what platform?
It comes out on April 12th for Xbox 360.
All right, well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
And that was our look at Divinity 2, the Dragon Knight Saga. Now on with the rest of the show. We're gonna get you guys caught up with everything that's coming out this week, but we'll start off with this week on the Wii Shop Channel.
This week on Wii Shop Channel, in WiiWare, adjust your expectations in life properly with Magic Destiny. Learn to read your future using seashells, tarot cards, palmistry, and fortune cookies, or play a number of mystical themed games. After that, battle the undead in the Zombie Panic in Wonderland demo. A wave of zombies is attacking Wonderland, and as a citizen, you're not particularly pleased about that. Grab some friends and go to work slaying the Brain Munchers. Then stick around for the Racers Island Crazy Racers demo. 6 drivers are competing on a popular TV show, and as one of them, it's up to you to drive, shoot, and cross the finish line first. In Nintendo DSiWare, grab your paddle and enjoy All-Star Air Hockey. In practice mode, choose from 8 computer opponents. In tournament mode, test your skills against all of them. Then keep your gaming tier going with Mahjong. Travel around the world playing an ancient Chinese board game. Enjoy single player or multiplayer, and use power-ups such as Dynamite, Whirlwind, and Hourglass to become the uncontested Mahjong champion. When you're done with board games, write down what you've learned in My Diary. My Diary lets you keep your own personal diary on your Nintendo DSi system. Set alarms for important events, lock your notes from prying eyes, keep to-do lists, and doodle interpretive drawings of your thoughts and feelings. Finally this week, if you like marine mammals and captivity, you can play 101 Dolphin Pets. Choose from more than 101 baby dolphins to adopt. Use their personalities and talents in a variety of fun activities such as pet shows. Use your winnings to buy upgrades such as toys, food, clothes, and accessories. That's all the time we have, folks. Join us next week for more This Week on Wii Shop Channel.
So with January and CES under our belts, the next show we're looking forward to here at GameSpot is the Game Developers Conference, GDC, at the end of February. Sophia, this is an event you are in the habit of attending, not so much.
And what I like
Yes.
about GDC is like right before that, there's the Independent Games Festival where people kind of highlight all the indie games. And like last year we saw games like Limbo. So we see a lot of great stuff coming out of that festival, and then throughout the year we kind of follow those, keep up.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to get to look at games that you maybe would otherwise not discover or come across. And in that vein, we've got Marco Martinez on the case. In his This Week on PC segment, we're looking ahead at some of the independent games that are going to be talked about later this month. So let's take a look at those.
This week on PC, we take a look at Independent Games Festival honorable mentions Fane and Bow, and then we take a look at E7, a winner from the IGF Student Showcase. Fane is a trial and error puzzle game that conforms to neither physics nor sanity. The game uses black, white, and gray palettes, often reversing the meaning of positive and negative space. For example, a gray wall within a white world may, once passed through, become a gray world with white walls. Unfortunately, there's no consistent logic that will let you reason out what you have to do next. And at later stages, the game devolves into making a run at every wall in hopes that one of them is actually a passage. Fane is a fascinating concept, but it could greatly benefit from a more consistent logic. Next, we take a look at Bow, an excellence in design honorable mention. Bow is a 2D platformer where you're placed in a world where there's only one goal: you must get to the door. However, doing this is not as easy as it sounds. The door will often be placed in a hard to reach area where you must drop blocks to assist you in reaching it. The premise is simple enough where countless numbers of levels and variations can be created to keep the game going for a long time. Bow is now available to download through the developer's website. And finally, we have E7, a winner from the IGF Student Showcase. E7 is a smooth, side-scrolling 2D platformer set on a hostile planet near Earth. You play as Luke, a pilot of a small pod, and your mission is to deactivate a bomb that is threatening Earth. There are well over 20 levels, and each features a unique obstacle, including various spacecrafts that shoot laser beams down at you, and terrain that can destroy your pod. The controls are simple, utilizing only the left and right keys to move and the down key to jump. However, the controls get a bit trickier once timing and angling jumps come into play. E7 is a perfect game to get into if you got some time to kill. It's simple yet entertaining to play, especially with its surprise ending. You can play or download this game through the developer's website. I'm Marco Martinez, and that's it for This Week on PC.
So in our next segment, we have Curtis Sid on board to talk about Little Big Planet 2. Now, Chris, you play Little Big Planet 1. You know it's about collectibles. The same thing in the second one as well. Sometimes
Yeah, getting
you
the
just
stickers,
need-
getting those little bubbles. Those levels are designed so that you just see them hanging hanging out of the
torturing
way.
They're like right there, but you don't know how to get it. And
Yeah.
sometimes you actually need more than just one person. You actually need 2, 3, maybe even a full party just to get it.
If you can survive with a full party on the screen and not like plunge each other into pits.
So if you're like me and you need a little guidance, we have a tips and hints segment coming up next.
Feature.
Curtis here with another tips and hints to show you some locations in Little Big Planet 2 that require trigger switch stickers and cooperative prize bubbles. Normally during rookie tests, you'll have to sacrifice and respawn to complete the tutorial section. During the next stage, Grab and Swing, you'll acquire a special sticker, Divinity Specs. Use the trigger sticker at the start of rookie test to bypass the respawn section and ace the level. In the Gripple Grapple stage, you can apply the Divinity Crest sticker to turn the level into a race. This will also release 3 prize bubbles that will rapidly float off. Give chase quickly and you'll be able to snag these escaping prizes. During Bravery Test, you can use the wood gear to change the level into a race and completely alter the layout and music. Instead of a slow-paced climb, you'll be using the mini jump platforms to zip through the level. In Pipe Dreams, you'll need to use the red fist sticker to release the Grabinator at the start of the level. This will allow you to release even more sackbots hidden in the level, increasing your score and prize bubbles. In Fireflies, when you're having fun, use the apple sticker to spawn the Creatinator. This device will allow you to shoot platforms to ascend to higher levels and reduce the need of dodging the lethal bugs. Now moving on to cooperative areas. All these sections require at least one other player. Grab a friend or head online before entering these stages. In Gripple Grapple, both players will need to use their grappling hooks to reach the top. Player 1 will need to hook onto the sponge, while Player 2 hooks on to Player 1. Lower your characters so they can reach the jump pads and swing right to the above platform. In Bravery Test, one player will need to operate the switch on the lower right. Each time the switch is pushed, various platforms will retract and detract. The second player will need to navigate the maze to reach the prize bubbles above. During Brainy Cakes, both players will need to throw the 2 cake creatures at the buttons at the same time. Coordinate your throws so that both cakes make contact at the right second. If the timing is off, the prize bubbles won't drop. In Cakeinator, you'll need to alter the weight of the scale. Have player 1 stand on the right platform. Next, have player 2 shoot a cake under the left platform. The weight of the cake will be enough to tip the scales and allow player 1 to reach the prize bubbles. In Current Affairs, an electrical current will be moving through a steel maze. The 2 levers on each side of the maze will switch out various beams. Move the levers accordingly to allow the electricity to reach the top and reveal the co-op prize bubbles. In Pipe Dreams, there will be 2 large hamster wheels. Both players will need to run quickly and power each of the devices. When the power meter reaches heart level on both sides, the pipes will raise and drop the prize bubbles. In Waste Disposal, a lift will raise up and smash against the roof. Each time there will be 2 randomly placed crevices that will allow the players to survive the impact. Also in these nooks are buttons that can be jumped into. Pay attention to the safe areas and press these buttons 4 times. After the last time, the lift will stop and unveil prize bubbles. That covers it for tips and hints, but there are plenty of hidden goodies throughout Little Big Planet 2. Check out the GameSpot guide for more info. Later, everybody.
So now it's my favorite part of the show, the part where I make Chris hold up this poster for a long period of time. So, Chris, do you have a trivia question? We have 9 of these to give away.
Well, if you want to win one of these posters, here's the question you got to answer. What season of The Real World was The Miz on? And what is his real name? If you think you know the answer, shoot us an email to onthespot@gamespot.com or use the trivia module on the side of the page to submit it.
So that about wraps up another episode of Today on the Spot. And as a reminder, we have our round 2 highlights from our Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournament last week. We go from 16 players down to 4. And for all of us at the studio, I'm Sophia Tong.
I'm Chris Waters.
We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
That's like life-size.
It's kind of bigger than you, is it? Yeah, it'd be kind of fun. So that's the... Totally forgot that I was the one doing the toss until the end, and then I panicked. Yeah, it's a really cool way to get a look at games you don't necessarily often get to. If you think you know the answer, send us your response to onthespot@gamespot.com or shoot us an email to what I said.